All right, let's get into it.
So Andrew Gentile, who is also the creator of Y-Files, has an awesome channel. If you don't follow him, be sure to follow him on YouTube. He is awesome. He gives his thoughts on what he believes these aliens to be. Are they interdimensional beings? And this is something that a lot of us believe that they could be. And I personally believe they could be fallen angels or very demonic. And Andrew gives his take on this. So pay attention and then leave your comments and tell me what you think.
As far as aliens, I can't get my mind around how far apart everything is. So if UFOs are real, and I'm pretty sure they are, it might have something to do with interdimensional travel, which sounds kind of woo-woo, but it's definitely scientifically grounded, like traveling in extra dimensions to cross distances quickly. You can do that scientifically. CERN was researching that up until recently, looking for clues of Klein particles, which allows you to slip into extra dimensions, which compresses space geometrically. And the further deeper you go, it's called the bulk. You go further deeper into the bulk you go, the more it compresses, and you can just go anywhere really fast. So when we see these orbs or crafts kind of just jumping like it skips a frame, that would be consistent with extra dimensional travel, or just popping out and disappearing. That would be consistent with it. Is that aliens? I guess it could be, or humans from the future, or some type of sentient AI. I don't know. But aliens just zipping across the galaxy here, I can't get my, I don't think that. Speed of light is just kind of a thing.
Speed of light is a thing. So you mean that there's bounds to this universe, so interdimensional travel will be outside of those bounds?
No, in extra dimensional, that's scientifically grounded, like the math works. But the speed of light is still a hard limit. So you would assume that if it's a hard limit for us, it's probably a hard limit for everyone.
So one more thing, I just want to say that what he is saying makes a lot of sense. And he says that it is scientifically grounded. So we know, and he said the mathematics are there. So we know that these are things that we think of and we just can't fathom it happening. But we are witnessing this happening. We are seeing videos, and not everything is AI. And he also made that comment that it could be an AI. Could it be AI in the future? Could AI have taken over humanity, and now this is what we're seeing?
The idea that extraterrestrials could possibly be interdimensional, that's a great theory, and I'm glad that that's starting to come along now, along with plasmoids. I really like that theory as well, because there is something out there that's unexplainable, whether it's governmental experiments or equipment, or it is some unknown anomaly that we have yet to fully observe and understand. There is something out there, I truly do believe. And speaking of something out there, I just noticed my background's not live. Hold on a second. Alright, we're back. My tizzy was on the frizzy with not having the moving pictures in the background. Now back to what I was saying. I do believe that there is something out there that we have yet to fully understand, at least as far as the average civilian. Now, maybe the military or governments do have a better understanding of what it is, or maybe they just flat out know what it is, but I think an everyday person has no true clue. We are only theorizing and speculating. And the idea of them being a plasmoid creature, I really like. And or that they could be interdimensional, because that also opens up the doors to other possibilities of what they could be. Because then you can also start adding the possibilities of them being some biblical entities. It's a lot of really cool concepts and theories, and I'm very hopeful that one day we truly do get answers to these questions. The simple fact that we're so highly advanced with recording equipment and our military cannot get a close enough shot, or at least one that they can provide us, they probably do have them, to actually validate or give us an insight as to what this could actually be, it's kind of sad. But let me know what you guys think about this one.
Do y'all believe in reincarnation or living past lives? There's multiple stories about children remembering they were somebody else, and they remember families and stuff that are living now. Well, this person asked her child about what she was talking about, because the child remembers being a little boy, and goes on about how the child remembers being given a lollipop, and then the child says some really creepy stuff. Check out this video, let me know what you think, and do you believe in reincarnation or living past lives? And TikTok this for entertainment purposes only.
Okay, so then what exactly happened? You were a boy and an old man killed you?
Yeah.
How did he kill you?
so he got a lollipop and put poison on it. I don't know what it was. And then he gave it to me and I sucked on it. But I was still born and then I died.
So then when you died, do you remember dying? Like, do you remember being sick?
I was sick and then I died.
And where were you? At your house?
No, I was outside playing.
And what did he do? He came up to you and gave you the lollipop? So then what did he tell you when he gave you the lollipop?
I went like, my mommy doesn't like creepy old man's giving me lollipops. And he said, just take it, it's really good. And he said, it's strawberry, your favorite flavor. And I said, how do you know it's my favorite flavor? And he said, I don't know.
But it was your favorite flavor?
Yeah.
So then you ate the lollipop.
Yeah.
And where did you die? Outside?
Yeah.
Did he leave you alone or was he still with you?
He was still with me and he took me to the graveyard. And he dug a hole in one of the graves and he put me in it.
He put you in it?
Yeah.
Dead?
Yeah.
That's so scary. Do you remember your parents or anything?
My parents weren't there.
No.
Yeah, they weren't there.
Were they sad when they saw that you died? Do you remember?
They didn't know because he did, and he put it back up before the door, and he looked, and he made it look like nobody did it.
So they couldn't find you then?
Yeah. So they were like, oh, maybe he just got missing.
Mm-hmm. But they never found you, and that was it?
3.
You were 3? Do you remember what happened when you died?
Yeah. When I died, when I closed my eyes, I saw this creepy old man turning into a monster.
Like a big scary thing?
Yeah.
I see.
It turned into a figure. It only had glowing eyes.
Really?
I was really scared.
Wait, what did you see?
The devil.
You saw the devil when you died?
Yeah. I was really scared. I thought he was not a person. I thought he was a ghost, but he was actually a person possessed by the devil.
Man, that's some really dark and detailed information that child's providing. When it comes to reincarnation and children or people experiencing past lives, I'm not saying that this is a fake video. I do not know truly. But when it comes to people experiencing past lives, I do have a theory around it. And that theory is they're not actually experiencing or they're not going through reincarnation. They're actually possessed by the spirit that suffered that trauma. And that person is experiencing those memories because that spirit wants to be found and they want justice. It's almost always a story of something tragic or something bad or some kind of mishap that's happened to these reincarnation stories, to the point where it doesn't even sound like it's reincarnation necessarily. It sounds like a murder case and it needs to be solved, and that this is a spirit possessing a child or a person, giving them these memories for some sort of truth to be revealed so that their spirits can be set free and go to the light type of situation. That's kind of where my mind goes with these reincarnation stories. I may be totally missing the mark, but it just seems like more possession and remembering the spirit's memories than living a past life. Hey, if you haven't done so already, and if you're enjoying the show, give it a like. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. I upload a video like this Monday through Friday, early in the morning, and sometimes like today, I upload an extra video later in the afternoon. And for everyone that's made it this far, thank you so much for supporting the channel.
This is a great question. So let's talk about where I think spirits and entities come from. This video will be a mix of my personal beliefs on how spirits and entities actually incarnate and exist, along with a couple of speculations about other ways they might exist, and a few fun theories that might be true. Okay, the first one is, I believe the ancients discovered a technology where they could make their thoughts become actualized and personified into a being. Think of it almost the same way we create like AI agents. You know, we do all this code and we create this thing that kind of thinks, that kind of has its own agency, but it was all manifested from our thoughts and ideas and constructed. I believe back in the day, we had an energetic version of this, and they were actually making them. And if you look into Greek literature on daimons and the idea of pulling stellar daimons or stellar daemons into statues, the realm of ideas and the realm of form, and how there was these two distinct places, and your thoughts actually became real. Believe it or not, that was a black military helicopter. Funny enough, right? Okay, so now I have an additional fun theory that might be true, and that is that the cataclysm of Atlantis. And now I don't necessarily believe that Atlantis was one particular place. Atlantis might have been the whole world. And then this mixes into the Tartaria stuff. But the argument is that there was some kind of advanced civilization, and they used technology that didn't require so much physical technology, physical mechanics and machines, that they operated largely energetically. And they created these tulpas. Basically, they discovered tulpas, okay? It was like their Manhattan Project. And what happened was they created servitors or tulpas or egregores to, like, for violence, for war. But because it was a new technology, they didn't understand that they needed to program it to not continually be in war. And it caused imbalances in the world and messed everything up. So it blew back on them. They programmed something for war, and then it just kept warring. And part of the reason we might have what people consider demons, not the same as daimons or daemons, negative daemons, freelance daemons that just cause chaos. It might actually be because they created this technology a long time ago, made a bunch of these warring daimons, and then they didn't know how to control them. And then Solomon comes in and he figures out how to control these things and bind them using thought magic. Okay, so why is it that this use of the burnt offering works to make transactions with them? I believe it's possible that what Jack Parsons was doing in the desert had nothing to do with testing rockets and had everything to do with trying to create as much energy, not just Jack Parsons, but also the Manhattan Project. It was to create as much energy in an explosion to make the biggest burnt offering they could. Because remember, Jack Parsons was working with Aleister Crowley and Ron L. Hubbard, and they were trying to do that really crazy ritual, the Babylon working, I believe it was called. I think all these things are connected, and the nuclear weapon was first and foremost a burnt offering to release as much energy as possible to feed something all that energy. The reason they use energy, like free energy or liberated energy from matter, is because energy is the apex currency. Okay. For everything, like human beings will eventually get there, and money will stop being a currency and energy will be a currency. That which allows you to manipulate matter and change one thing into another is the ultimate currency. And think of it as the token which allows you to play with reality. And so energy is what is required by the daemon. The daemon has more influence over the underlying fabric of reality. And so when you give it energy, it takes some of that energy for itself, and it uses some of it to transform matter or change circumstances or move forces around in reality. So it's actually quite practical. It's, it's mystical to us because we don't understand this whole entire line of history, but when you really think about it, it's quite practical. When you think about, some people have ghost experiences and all of a sudden the room goes cold. I believe the room goes cold is because they're pulling energy from the ambient energy in the air to themselves so that they can materialize, so they can do certain things. And this could be the explanation for a lot of demonic attack. It's just things that used to be actual physical predators that somehow created sort of like a disembodied immortal, or disembodied existence in the energetic or the world of thought. There isn't some clean-cut singular answer. I think it's dynamic, and I think that all the things I explained in this video, I think there's probably a couple of those are spot on and actually happening. So it's not just one or the other. What are all the other possibilities of this supernatural phenomenon of like entities, super powerful entities being able to do weird transformative things with our reality. It's all aliens, right? Or it's all demons and it's all angels. I think it's much more dynamic. And so these are some of my speculations and some of my actual legitimate beliefs on what's happening.
Very interesting all around. Sorry it was a bit of a longer video. It's actually a lot longer than what I have here. I cut it down quite a bit, I'm sure, during editing. But like I said, it is a very interesting theory that, you know, these powers is what manifests spirits or certain entities. I do think that ancient civilizations had a better understanding on how to connect with another realm, whether it's a spiritual realm or some kind of realm that has other entities in it. I do think that ancient civilizations had some kind of connection with it. They were better using their minds that way than we are today.
Well, what did they suggest in 1884 when it comes to what to do after you have given birth? Has times changed since then? Are they advising different things that are good or bad? Let's find out in this book from so long ago that my great-great-grandparents could have been reading it as we speak back then, but time is an illusion, so past and present are the same time. So listen, after the patient, woman, has been made comfortable in the manner already described, it is above all things desirable that she should have several hours of undisturbed rest and, if possible, sleep. There used to be a curious notion prevalent amongst nurses that a woman ought not to be allowed to fall asleep directly after delivery. This is altogether a mistake. Sleep is to be encouraged by every possible means. To this end, the room should be kept exceedingly quiet and the blinds drawn down so as to subdue the light. In this way, the patient will be best enabled to recover from the exhausting effects of labor. In the meantime, the nurse should keep an eye on the patient's face, and if she observes that she is becoming unusually pale, she must at once ascertain whether there is any flooding. You can imagine flooding would be blood loss, right? So here's the crazy part, though, about this. It then goes on to talk about the proper food. Now, we know that in Japan, there's this thing where they have 15 or 10 eggs a day or something. After a woman gives birth, there's a supercharge of, we got to re-up the levels of nutrients. And they have a ton of eggs. Look up Japan, and they have a cool way of doing things too. In fact, in Japan, they believe that a woman becomes a woman once she's given birth. Before then, she's just a female. Did you know that? In Japan, they have a thing. And they don't do much Pitocin or epidurals. They do pretty natural births, man. They still do it in a hospital most of the time, but interesting. Different countries have different rates of things. Look up what Europe does for midwives and stuff. Totally different than over here. We have a bit of a different system over here. I can't say if it's good or bad, but I have my inclinations.
Some things have changed this go around. Normally, it's all eyes on the woman after the child's been born. There's not even much of a rest period, depending on what time of the day it is, and or hospital rules. But a big majority of them around here in South Carolina, at least, hey, the whole party's welcome. Unless you want to be the bad guy and you personally shoo everyone away, which I have no problem with that personally. But the rest period that's described in this book sounds quite pleasant, especially after something so stressful and traumatizing. I'm pretty sure almost any woman would agree with that one.
Lately, we've been getting a lot of images coming out of extraterrestrial aliens, not just from the government files either. Some people have themselves, and now they're comfortable to share them because it's not such a big stigma anymore. So I thought, with the cheesehead, I'd show you a few of these. Come on! This one I just saw the other day, or these two, supposedly out of Peru, of extraterrestrial aliens that landed there. Yeah, their ship either crashed or landed in Peru, and a farmer got those pictures. Then we got this one that a woman found in her grandfather's stuff after he passed away. He was a lifelong military guy, and this was in with his things. He left no explanation of where that came from. Then we got this image of an extraterrestrial alien that we're told is from an Air Force base in Arizona. And once again, no explanation other than that. Then we get one of my favorites. This was taken from a computer screen in an office at some military facility and supposedly smuggled out. This is some crazy stuff. This stuff is out there like the extraterrestrial aliens are. But I want to know your opinion about the UFO information and this type of stuff that's been coming out very slowly.
Honestly, I would not say that alien photos have been coming out slowly. We get them quite regularly every year. Not necessarily almost pretty much 100% of the time not government identified. It's always through somebody online or, things like that. It's never official. But slowly, we definitely have been getting them quite rapidly. And I don't want to be the super skeptical one, but I'd be willing to say that at least 98% of those photos are fake. I really wish that some of them were real, and hey, maybe some of them are, but I just have my doubts. And the simple fact that they get released to the internet and they're allowed to stay up also kind of makes it more suspicious as it being a hoax, because if those were some real photos that were smuggled out of a facility and they're just viral photos online, that photo is going to get taken down. I mean, everything else that's serious or confidential gets taken down. Sure, it may get exposed and leaked for a little while, but it does get taken down, and then there's also offenses for the people that upload them. So to have these photos of aliens that are just leaks just floating around the internet, it makes me doubt it, because I really think that would be stopped if they were real photos. But then again, maybe because they stopped them, if they were real photos, that would just make it look more suspicious. So it's really a back and forth with this one, but my gut tells me that 98% of these photos are hoaxed. Let me know what you guys think.
Facts about Earth that do not seem real. About 99% of Earth's gold is somewhere where you will never be able to reach it. It's about 3,000 kilometers beneath your feet. Or if you're American like me, around 1,800 miles beneath your feet. Almost all of the Earth's gold is hidden within its core, and this is largely in part due to the iron catastrophe era of Earth's history. 4.5 billion years ago, this is more like what the Earth looked like in its earliest formation period, right when it stuck together to become a planet. And because the Earth's surface was a hot, fiery mess, all of the minerals like iron, platinum, nickel, uridium, and even gold started to melt and head towards the Earth's core. And that is what scientists call the iron catastrophe. How do we find gold on Earth's surface if all of it melted towards its core? Well, right after the iron catastrophe started the late heavy bombardment period, where millions of asteroids pelted the Earth's surface for more millions of years. Essentially, what happened is all of these asteroids bombarded the Earth for so long that it expelled all of those precious minerals that had melted from within the Earth's crust onto the Earth's surface. But that isn't where the story of Earth's golden core ends, because in 2025, scientists in Hawaii were studying the lava that comes from Hawaii's many different volcanoes, and they found evidence that the Earth's core is actually leaking gold from within it. And there's even more evidence to support that the Earth is leaking gold, and it's found within the ocean. There's around 20 million tons of gold dissolved into the ocean, and scientists have figured out that it comes from not only hydrothermal vents, which have the same source as volcanoes and the lava that they disperse. It comes from rivers and lakes running into the oceans, and very deep portions of the oceans that have a closer proximity to Earth's core. And you may be worried that people will now go hunt for this gold coming from Earth's orifices, but don't worry, they can't. It's not only a hugely costly endeavor that would not pay itself off, but it's also a minuscule amount that you would be able to extract from Earth's resources. Essentially, we are living on a gold-filled stress ball of a planet that has been through 4 billion years of trauma.
Well, definitely don't tell any wealthy or top-shelf piece of trash that it's not worthwhile, because they like to spend their money on things that aren't. And the next thing you know, once they all move to Mars, they're going to start trying to mine all of Earth to harvest all of its gold. Basically, the humans will become the Anunnakis, harvesting and trying to obtain all the gold of Earth to support their own planet. I could see something like that happening. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and end today's video. As always, I want to thank you guys for watching these clips with me. With that, I feel happy, I feel healthy, I'm doing my best, and if today's your birthday, happy birthday, and if not, have a good day anyways.